Hi, everyone. So I am CohenMiller, and I am so excited to be here with y'all today. This is an incredible event. Thank you so much to the TEDx team for putting this together. And what I realize in coming here, I can feel the energy. And so whether you're watching this at home or not, that energy is palpable. So to get us started, I like to do something that's a little bit unconventional. But don't worry about that, right? You don't have to get anxious. Instead, I'm going to lead you through it. So what we're going to do, first going to shake out your body a little bit. All right. Then plant your feet. Sit up straight. And then maybe even roll your shoulders back. And if you're up for it, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to do this also. And I'm going to lead you through some breathing. So take a deep breath in and hold it. Breathe out. Take another deep breath in. Hold and out. With your eyes still closed, just take a sense of where you are, how you're doing, and recognize that we are all here to learn new ideas and to make the world a better place. Let's take one more deep breath in. Hold and breathe out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, how are you feeling? Maybe a little calmer? A little more centered? Raise your hand. Yeah? All right. Great. This is the amazing thing about, let's see if I can get this the right way, about contemplative inquiry. So this is what we were just engaged in. This is a scientifically backed research that such researchers such as Kakali Bhattacharya, Valerie Jancic, and my own work, for instance, with Nettie Boivin, we use contemplative inquiry, this idea of centering ourselves, just a few breaths, and we feel more calm. And this gives me a better chance to become more aware of myself. And if I'm more aware of myself, maybe I'm more accepting of myself also. Maybe I'm even more accepting of y'all. So let's see, where did I get these ideas from and why does it even matter to me? So the backstory. And so if you're not able to see a picture here, what the picture is somebody standing in the snow you see from the back and holding the hands of a young child. In the background, you see snow and you see a Kazakhstani monument. So the backstory. So I'm Anna, but for much of my life, people called me Anna, and it never really fit. And so this idea of not fitting has kind of followed me around. People told me directly that I didn't fit, actually. I identify as Sephardic, and Sephardic is Spanish and Jewish. And people said, well, did you actually grow up speaking Spanish? Was that your native language? I say, no. I say, okay, then you're not Spanish. Oh, okay. Oh, well, you're Jewish, but you don't practice the way that I know this Jewish person practices. So you must not really be Jewish, or you're just kind of Jewish. But, oh, okay. So I took that in. I took their words. I gave them power over how I thought about myself. I didn't know any better, and that's okay, right? This is part of the process of growing up and learning about ourselves. But then over time, I did start to learn more. I started to realize this idea of cultural iceberg. Have you heard of a cultural iceberg? Yeah, some hands? Okay, great. So if you haven't, that's fine too. So this image shows an iceberg. The idea being that at the top are things that you can see, or maybe I've told you. So I told you that I'm Sephardic. You know where I work, for instance. You know that I likely identify with a gender. I identify as a woman. This is my gender identity. Our lives are gendered. The way that you see me, the way that I react to you, the workplaces, they're all gendered. And so that's just the top of the iceberg, though. So I can look at you and I can think, you look like you're this height or this skin color. Maybe you speak that language. But it only tells me the top, right? The surface level. What about all that stuff underneath? The much bigger, more important aspects of values, maybe my beliefs, my practices, and yours, right? Where Where do your values, your beliefs, your background, where does this come from? And not just somebody who has said, well, where are you from? Where are you really from? Most recently, actually, just about a month ago, I mentioned to somebody that I actually have more than one citizenship. And they said, well, how is that possible? You can't be from two places. Where's the one, right? They wanted me to pick one place. Where are you really from? And yet we know, right, that we have very intricate and complex backgrounds, and we get the chance to become more aware of ourselves. So one way to do this, and I'm going to show you a picture. So there's some objects here. So there's a few objects. Think to yourself, what are these images, and how many do you see? Now we have a new angle. Same objects, different angle. And then one more view. Same objects, different angle. Do you see anything different in this final picture than in the first? Yeah? You see different things. Okay, so this is a key aspect, right? That depending on our viewpoint, the way that we enter the world, we interpret the world differently. So the view of myself even will change as I move from context to context. And so same thing with you. As you grow and you learn about yourself, you will see new things about yourself, new angles. And this is a chance for us to become more accepting of ourselves. Maybe I uncover something and say, oh, I actually don't like that about myself. And I do that, right? I see things, I'm like, oh, I didn't like how I was in that interaction, let's say. And then I say, okay, well, I don't have to beat myself up about it. I can say, all right, I see it. Now, how do I want to accept myself and then move through it to do something else? And as I accept myself more, I'm more able to accept y'all and accept the mistakes that you make. We all get to make mistakes, and that's a beautiful thing because it means that we're alive. If we're making mistakes, we're alive. So then if we think back to then, what has informed who you are? Your ancestors, the languages they speak, the places you've traveled, the practices that have been passed down. What's important to you? Why is it important? And this will change over time, right? The direction that you're going in your life, right? How have you been informed, and how have you gotten to this point? So then to think about our position, right? So I've been mentioning this position in the world. A term that we can use is positionality. So my positionality in the world, I identify as a cisgender woman. I identify as a mother scholar. Mother scholar is a term that Cheryl Matthias first came up with, and I have furthered in my work. I work with people, I work with students to empower them, to help them go out into the world as educators, as leaders, as researchers, to recognize the power also that we have, and to work with communities to better hear them. So to better hear other people then, we can think about our own privilege and our own power. So wherever you are around the world, if you're listening to this talk, you have power and privilege. You have the privilege of education to even know that TED Talks exist. You have the privilege perhaps of electricity, of electronics, of a community of people perhaps who are also interested in these topics. You have such power and privilege that we get to do something with it. We can think, okay, what do I have? What is meaningful to me? And we can then go out in the world. So that power that I gave over other people to say that I didn't fit, okay, right? I can look back at them and say, okay, they said this, that's where they were. I can accept them for who they are now because I can accept myself more now. So then, ultimately, as we become more aware of ourselves, we're then better positioned to accept other people. And we then can go out in the world and do the meaningful work that is important to us. So to bring this around and to help us get off on a good step to become more aware of yourself, let's plant your feet, sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, and if you're up for it, close your eyes. And we will just do 2 breaths in, hold, and out. And one more. Hold, out. And And when you're ready, open your eyes. And I look forward to hearing how you are becoming more aware of yourself, learning to accept others, and ultimately making the meaningful changes that you care about in the world. Thank you.